Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? Okay, so I'm gonna allow everyone to get settled. Kind of get your camera situated, your chat, and all that. I hope that you all have your supplies ready, and I am super excited for this class. But if there's any of you here that are Star Wars fan, Chanel and I were just talking about that, and Maria. May the 4th be with you. It's May 4th. Can you believe it's May 4th already? I really honestly can't. It blows my mind every month that I talk about, what day it is and what's the date and all that, because I think it's part of getting old. I'm not sure. But hello, everybody. My name is Leigh Ralston, and welcome back to another fun hour of class here with Faber-Castell USA and Michaels. Today's class, we're going to be doing a mama bear because Mother's Day is just right around the corner. And so today we'll be doing a little bit of bullet journaling. So we'll be doing some Mama Bear. If you haven't got a chance to download the printable that Faber Castell generously provided for all of us, I think Chanel just shared the link. You can print that at home. Print it on a sticker paper, then you can fuzzy cut it. But if you have some cutting machines like Silhouette and Cricut, and a brother, you can run it through the software and then cut it. So I hope that you'll be able to use that in your journals, scrapbook, document, type of journal, in your bullet journal and then planners. I think those are really cute for you to enjoy. All right, so today's class, like what I said, we'll be creating this bullet journal right here. I have it pulled out because sometimes I kind of forget also what kind of we were doing, because I always prepare the worksheets kind of like months before. So when I'm working on them, and then I kind of, when it comes to the class, it's like, what are we doing again? How did I do that? So you and I will be learning again how I did all these cuteness here. So today we'll be using some notebook, any type of notebook or a bullet journal. There are many different type of bullet journal out there. Okay, so there's like the lined paper, there's also a graph paper, a dot grid. But personally, I love dot grids and grids. I'm really not a lined paper fan, but again, everything is personal preference. So if you like the line, that's fine as well. And then we'll be using some Faber-Castell Pitt artist pens today. So I have them here. I'll also be using some pencil, some eraser, because I make lots of mistakes, and I think that's part of life, not just art, but life. And so eraser, if you have any colored pencils laying around the house in your stash, you might want to pull it out. Also, any pink color. I think what I did was, when I did the layout, I went back because I was looking at the artwork and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to add a little bit of colored pencils in there for some added textures. And then I also added a little bit of pink, but I don't think I have the pink in the supply list. I know I'm very bad. I think I forgot that one. So I'll be using the pink Matter Lake 129. But any pink marker that you have, that will work. Okay. So all right. Again, my name is Leibella Ralston. I'm also known as Mommy Lay. If you are creating with me today, I would love to see them. You can tag me on social media. It's at Mommy Lay on Instagram and anywhere else. So here we go. I am super excited. Let's have everything ready here. I am going to just put this right in front of me. I'll also be using some ruler. Did I mention that? I probably didn't. So I'll be using some ruler, and but that's it. All right, my notebook is not working well for me. Here we go. So I was playing around because the one that I did in that notebook, that was a dot grid. This one is a graph. So you can see here. So I was kind of playing around with how many boxes so we can go fast. And then I don't have to kind of like count it. So now I know that this is 6 boxes, or if you have dot grids, there might be 6 as well for you. But then again, every notebook is different. I'm using an A5 size, so that's very important to mention. Clean page. Maya, it's really okay if you have like a blank page. That would work as well. Let me grab my ruler. If this is kind of like, it's not the whole size of the ruler, but there's kind of like a good quarter of an inch there. So if you're using a blank, I really am not a ruler person. I don't know why I'm using a ruler right now. I like to pretend, but I like to kind of be a rebel and just kind of do some lines in there. Yes, for sure, it can be any notebook at all. Okay, so all right, we're gonna start and we're gonna create this layout. This layout is a vertical layout. It's for some reason my brain, the way it works is that I when I'm doing my to-do list, I kind of go from here to here. So there's horizontal layouts that goes like this. For some reason, my brain doesn't work well with that. I don't know. Also, the bullet journal is originally created by Ryder Carroll. So you'll see here on the screen. If you'd like to find out more about this method, you can definitely check Ryder Carroll's book because he taught so many different things about the bullet journal and about the whole system, how to be more productive. So definitely I highly suggest to check that one out. All right, okay, so here we go. I am going to count 6 over here. I'd like to leave space over here because this is where I'm planning to put in the title, which is the month. So I'm going to put in May over here, right? But I'm going to count 6 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I think I'm going to leave an inch of a size on the top as well because we're going to put in the days of the week and also our dates. So there you go. Juliana's asking how big of a box she's going to use. It really is going to depend on how big your paper or how big your notebook is. I mean, you can try to kind of eyeball it. You can put in 3 boxes in here and then 4 in here, or you can actually put in 3 and 3 and make sure that your Saturday and Sunday will be just in one box. You know, you can always just cut it down, cut it to 2. So you have Saturday and Sunday in one box, and that will give you more space in your layout. Okay, so I'm just going to count 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So now I'm going to use the ruler. And then I'm going to leave a big space, not big. If this is an inch, probably I'll make sure maybe an inch and a half here at the bottom. I'd like to leave some note space at the bottom so I can put in some extra information that I might need to write for the whole week. All right, I'm just going to write it down here. Then the next one. All right. Here we go. So next one, I'm going to do 6 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm just copying where the line ended here and where the line is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me know if yours is going to work. I'm sorry, my camera is not being nice to us today. Wonder what happened there. Here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right. And then another 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, look at this, guys. I'm using a ruler and everything is still kind of crooked for me. I think this is how my brain works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So how did those 6 boxes or 6 grids work for you? I'd love to know. Maybell, I'm so sorry. I don't think I can help with the instruction how to do that. It's really going to depend how big your notebook is. So you might have to use a little bit of creativity in here. So I'm going to add some line at the bottom. And then Add some line over here as well. What I was thinking is that if I am going to use the left part for our month title over here, we'll put in the May in here, then I'm not left with any space for my weekly to do. So kind of like I'm still deciding if I'm going to put the May in here or put the May on top. For the bottom, I'm going to count for you guys. Okay. So the bottom will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. If that's too big for you guys, then, kind of see, because if we are going to put in our bear here at the bottom, we're definitely going to need some space. But what you can do is bring down all the graph, just have like two space left in here, and that's okay too. And we can just put our bear inside our vertical lines in there. All right, so the top, so this is 11. My top is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 grids on top. So, what's always helpful is that if you're going to start a notebook or a new journal like this, what helps me a lot is that I would use a couple of pages and use that as a guide. So I would create like different layouts like this. If I would create like vertical, then I would create those sample pages in couple of first few pages in my journal, or the ones in the back, whichever you'd like to use, because it always helps. And then you kind of add in the numbers in there, so okay, if I'm going to create the same layout again, then I know I'm going to need 11 dots or 11 grids at the bottom and 6 on top. So next time you don't have to keep counting. So that's always very helpful if you're going to create horizontal, which I think we should do next time we do a class like this. We're going to create different layouts instead of doing the same vertical. I think that's what's going to help us a lot by doing it repetition and also trying out different layouts. I think it just really brings out the creativity, kind of like, okay, what if I do this? What if I do that? But that's how it really is. Just kind of try and try, right? Okay, so for the top, I would really have more space on top. So I think I'm going to adjust it, add 2 more. I'm going to bring up my lines, and this is where kind of like the headers are going to be. This is where the days of the week are going to be. So I'm just bringing up the lines, 2 more grids or 2 more dots, if you'd like. And that's why I think if you're going to do a bullet journal and it's going to be blank, it might be just a little difficult. I mean, it's doable as long as you're like doing it over and over, then you kind of get used to it. But I think I highly suggest to use something with a dot grid a or a graph like this. I swear I cannot write straight lines even with a ruler. Oh, also, while we're doing this and we're just chatting, I would like to send some love to all the mommies in here, like myself. Mother's Day is coming up, and it's a very special day for us here at home. My husband, he said it's his favorite. I think he's just trying to be nice to me, but big shout out to all the mommies that are joining us today. Hello. And if you guys are watching this also later, on a replay, we're sending our love to all the moms, love and respect to all the mommies out there. All right. I swear my lines are still crooked. Here we go. Okay, so now we've added 2 lines on top. That is where we're going to put in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the days of the week, right? And then we're going to create a circle on top. Now, this one I got from Michael's, and it's really nice because it has many different shapes of circles. So you see from the very, very tiny ones to a really large one. I think this one is 2 inches and 1/4. So this one is 2 inches. So you have the size in here. So that's just super helpful. So I'm going to find a size that I think will look good on top. Not something super big, not too small. I think I'm going to use the third one over here. So I'm going to try that out. If you don't have this, it's okay. You can just try and draw a circle as much as you can. And I'm actually having a hard time because I cannot see. Is that right? So I'm going to maybe here, I'm just guessing. So from where I put in the first circle like that. Oh, that actually worked. So I'm going to put in here again. Oops, this one. So from the third. So that helps me position, not entirely, but a little bit. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing here. There we go. So I'm just going to put in the circles. Who am I kidding? That's hard. I'm just going to try and put circles. And when you're trying to sketch, go as light as possible so that it's not going to be so hard to erase later. There we go. I think I'm going to have two. I'm going to fix some of these because some are like, oh my goodness. My hand is not following what my brain is saying. Here we go. So we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. All right, I think we're good with that. Now, this is a kneadable eraser. If you have been attending my classes here on Michael's, I love the kneadable eraser because I don't make a whole lot of eraser suds when I'm erasing my sketches. So I'm just going over it lightly, just so I'll have the perfect guide for later. Okay, so because I don't want it to be super dark, I'm going to use a light green color to use this. The Faber-Castell Pitt Artist pens, they come in many different tips, especially the black. But my favorite would be the Superfine, which has the S. Oops. This one is the Superfine. So this one has a fine tip. This is my favorite. I wish they come in more colors, but the black definitely comes in many different tips. All right, here we go. Now, I'm going to go over it with the Superfine. I'm going to create the lines. Here we go. So Mabel is asking, all the videos that we're doing here at Michael's, except for the premium classes, will be uploaded on their Michael's YouTube channel. So make sure to check them out. If there are something here that we're doing today that you feel like you're still a little bit confused or you just want to go watch it again, then after 24 to 48 hours, it should be on Michael's YouTube channel. So you can definitely watch the replay. It's, that's always nice because there's something that you might missed or you just want to go back to and just kind of like rewatch it. So it's always nice to have that option. So I'm just going over my lines one by one. So again, this is the Pitt Artist Pen in Superfine. It has a fine tip. And also the Pitt Artist Pens, they are water-based India ink. So no matter what notebook I'm using, I know that they're not going to bleed through. So that's one thing I really love about them is that I know that it doesn't matter whichever notebook I'm using, whichever brand, is that it's not going to bleed through. And then also it doesn't have any yucky smell, which is a bonus. And also it is archival. Archival means that all the artwork that we are going to create today, all the colors, they're going to remain and stay vibrant for years and years to come. So that's always nice because, someday I'm going to become a grandma and I'm going to show off all of these beautiful creations that I'm creating now. And one day I'm going to show them to the future generation. And then it's still going to stay as vibrant and as beautiful as it is now. Here we go. All right, so for the circle, I don't think I'm going to use this super fine. I'm just going to go over them with my light green, but this one is in brush tip. Okay, so I'm going to go over the circle, and I think I'm not super thrilled about my circle, so I'm just going to erase that because once I lay down the inks, I won't be able to erase all of these. So make sure you're just erasing enough to have the guide because once you lay down the ink, you won't be able to erase them. Kelly said use a dime. There we go. Thanks, Kelly. I'm just going to use this one. And guys, it doesn't have to be really perfect when you're creating something like this. The reason why we're creating is it's for the process. It's to be supposed to be relaxing. So if you stress about every little thing, like if there's something that's not perfect, you're actually you're not enjoying that process. So it doesn't serve you well. Then it's just going to stress you even more. Just get a calendar. So that's going to be much easier, like a pre-made planner already. But to me, it's like I really don't want to stress about every little thing in here because that's the reason why I'm bullet journaling is because I want to create my own. So it's not always going to be perfect unless I buy just a real planner with straight lines already and, pre-made layouts. All right. So I have all the greens in there. And then I'm going to go over it with the darker green. This is the permanent green olive in 167. And I'm going to use this green to create an outline for my circles like that. So look at this. It's definitely not perfect, my circles. And they're probably crooked. One is like, it's probably going zigzag too, but I really don't mind. Mary said, I was recently gifted a bunch of Pitt artist pens. Yay, Mary! Good job. Whoever did that, yay! It's perfect. I'm so happy for you. I know you love them. Here we go. All right. Now, with a brush pen, it is a little tricky because it's going to depend on how much pressure you're applying when you're using your pens. So, if you're going to apply a very heavy pressure, then you're going to get a thicker strokes, right? But if you're using a light pressure and you're using the tip of the pen, then you'll be able to get a really thin stroke out of it. All right, I'm happy with this one. Now I'm going to use my light yellow glaze 104, and we're just going to color in our top. Notice how I'm holding my pen. I'm not using it like this, right? I'm going sideways so I can use the body of the brush. And then I'm just carefully applying it like that. Like this. And I am going to do Monday to Friday in this same color. And then I am going to do the weekends, Saturday, Sunday in a different color, just to kind of, so I can tell the difference. Like I can't, but I think I'm going to use the dark green for this one. Might be too dark for, yeah, maybe not. Okay, next color I have here is the beige red. So this is what I'm going to use for my weekend. So again, notice how I'm using it, just really doing this lightly. And I'm using the tip and the body of my pen. And by applying just really light pressure. The next one that we're going to do to make it look cuter even more, we're going to add some scallops. So this is really just like half circle. Let me zoom in so you guys can see. All right. So when I do my scallops, if you have a you're using a graph, then you can just follow along that square, use that as your guide, and even a dot grid, or you can just go make different sizes of half circles. That's fine too. I like to do that too. It kind of adds a very a different visual interest to your drawings. You know, they're not all just super uniform. So you can play around with the size of your scallops, make some larger than the other, maybe some smaller, like that. This color is too light. The camera's not picking it up. You know, after this class, I think I am convinced that the graph is the best one to use for the bullet journal. If you're not bothered by all the lines, this one has a blue line, so it's not really bothering me a lot. But if it's going to be like a black or a dark gray, it might bother me just a little bit. But since it's blue, I mean, it's there, but it's not there really. So here we go. Just adding some scallops here. So as you can see, I'm just like adding like a smile and then I'm filling it in. Like that. There. See how mine has like different sizes? All right, now for the fun part. We are going to start drawing our mama bear and baby bear. Here we go. I'm going to use a pencil for this one. Oh, Zippy said that. Okay, so a dot grid, it's great too, right? Yeah, because you can have some guides in there. That's good. Yeah, I love dot grid and the graph. So those are two of my favorite ones to use. All right, so for the bear, if you're going to look at our bear, you're going to be overwhelmed just a little bit, especially if you're not really, you haven't been drawing a lot or you're not really an artist, which you feel like it. I want you to know that when I started, I didn't know how to draw. So this is why I like to do my classes. And that's why I like to teach, is because I want to take out that fear of, I'm not an artist. I can't do that. Because when I started, I was definitely not an artist. I could not draw a heart to save my life. So this is what I am here for, is because I'm going to show you how easy this is. You're going to get out of this, you're going to leave this class and you say, wow, I actually did do it, so that's what we're going to do. And we're going to look at it one by one, shape as a shape, because everything is just kind of like shape put together. All right, so here we go, Mama Bear. We're going to do this. And again, I am relearning it again with you, although I did draw that, but I drew it like months before. So kind of like, okay, how did I do that? Now get your pencils and remember to sketch lightly. So we don't have to worry about, we don't have to worry about erasing it later. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to start with this circle. So when I'm drawing a circle, it's not going to be a perfect circle. It might be a little stretched circle. Look at this, more like an oval shape. So more like an oval. And I'm doing it one stroke after the other. I'm not attempting to create one perfect circle at a time. Does that make sense? So as you notice, I did like a half, maybe just a little bit, a quarter of it. Then I stretch it down to complete the half of the circle. Then I went to my right side, did the quarter of it, and then did the other quarter. So with that, I made a full circle here. Okay, so I am going to draw two ears, which is like half circle. You know, when I was a little girl, we have this song. I'm trying to remember it. Small circle, small circle, small circle, something like that. Small circle, big circle. I can't remember now, but something like that. How to make a bear. Okay, so now we have, look at that. We have the head of the bear already. Okay, so for the body, I'm just going to make kind of like this shape. What do you call this shape? But look at it. So from the middle part, I'm going to draw a line here so we know which is the middle part of the bear, okay? I'm going to zoom in so we can see. Here we go. So here we have the middle part. So to the left, I started here and I brought it down, kind of like we're going to make a cylinder. And then also here, not exactly the middle of the circle. I'm just going to make this. I know it kind of looks funky right now, but it's okay. It's like, what? All right. So now, oops, something fell. Sorry. Now we're going to make the arm this time. It's almost the same amount of space I'm going to do. So I'm just going to pretend that this is the arm. So almost the same shape, like this. Okay. So I know where the arm is now. And this time I'm going to draw an arm, almost the same. But instead of going down, I'm just going to do it like this. We're going to fix that later. So it drooped down and then I overstretched it to the right side. Now I know that's Mama Bear. Now I'm going to make a circle. So this one is going to be the baby bear or another oval. All right. Look at how I'm making my circle one at a time, like this. So I know this is where my baby bear's head is going to be. This time we're going to make kind of like a jelly bean. So from the head, we're going to draw, looks like a jelly bean. This is the arm of our bear. And then we're going to draw a small body. Now, the secret to drawing, I noticed that when I was learning and trying before, what was happening is that I was doing my lines super big. So try to make it as small as possible. When I say little, just little by little. Look how much little I added. Okay, so this is where my body is going to be, like that. Just very small line. Just nothing perfect. And I'm going to have kind of like the jelly bean we created again. I'm going to draw two of those. Or kind of like an overstretched oval, like that. So now we have this guide. Okay, I know this is where the feet's going to be or the legs are going to be. This is the arm. Now this one under her head, we're going to create kind of like a stretched smile. This is one arm. Can you visualize it already, or bear? All right, so this is the hand. Now I know that I want to stretch this one out where Mama is going to be holding her baby bear. So I'm just following the guide we created, but I'm adding now the hand. So what's going to help is if you erase along the way. I know some artists don't like to erase along the way, but the way my brain works, since I was not really blessed with a lot of artistic abilities and from to begin with, so I have to kind of like erase as I go along so that I can really see the whole picture. If not, I'll be like left with this mess. I'm like, what is going on now? So I have to erase. But if you're not like me and you're like superwoman, superman, super something that you don't need to erase, then good for you. But I have to. Okay, then I have to erase Mama Bear's belly also because that's going to be our baby bear's head now. All right. All right. So it's looking something here now. This one, I'm going to stretch it, move it down. So I know that her arm is going to be there. This is good. Now I'm going to add an ear to our bear. Like that. And I know one is going to be there. Okay. Look at this. We're getting somewhere. Here we go. Now for Mama Bear's legs, we're going to make a much bigger, like a curved line, like a letter C like this. Right? That's her knee. And I'm going to make an oval again, like this one. That's going to be her leg. I mean, this is going to be her big foot. It's only one. So this is her right foot. And I'm going to draw a cute heart or just a heart that's going to make it cute. There. All right. This is good. And I'm just going to close this in. And then we're done. Thank you so much, guys. No, I'm just kidding. All right, here we go. So now we have that. I'm going to erase the thing that we added there in the middle, but that's good. If you don't know where to position your eyes, you might want to leave that middle space first, but I'm okay. I'm going to draw Mama's eyes. Look at this. This is just a smile. And I'm going to add lashes, right? And then I'm going to add one more half circle here inside the ears. And I'm going to draw a bow. I always start with a circle in the middle. And then a letter C. And then the belly of a letter D. Here. And then I just draw 2 lines in the middle. Look, like a letter V. And then we're going to draw a cute nose, just a little button nose. Just like that. And then we're going to draw a line in the middle. Ah, so cute. And I'm going to do the same to the baby bear. Now, this might help if you're going to move your notebook like this so you can really see baby bear's face. Look, that's where I made a mistake already. Where is the notebook? Here. So I want to make her face just a little bit here, down here. So I'm going to make that. Draw another one over there. And then draw that cute button nose. And some lashes. And then we'll add another circle things. And then for her bow, I'm just going to draw this one. Kind of like a teardrop. You know when you're making like a flower petal? Just like that. And so cute. Okay. Now I'm going to need to erase again. Just a little bit of this. All right. Now for her arm, I would like to have it a little so smaller here at the top. And I'm just going to draw the slanted line, kind of like a little curving, and then make it big again. So it's kind of like really, it looks like a bean. I swear, looks like a bean. And then it kind of looks weird now. I'm going to adjust this one because I cannot show you guys. Hey, llama, move. Here you go. Ah, so cute. Why is the face kind of crooked? All right, I think it's okay. And then I'll just put a body in here. Here. And then for her cute tiny feet, I'm going to add here circle ones here. So 2 circle. It's so cute. All right. I think that's good. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Now to make our flowers. Now, this is optional. You can make your flowers kind of like wide open. Mine is kind of like they're leaning sideways. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with I'm not good with the terms of the flowers. So I'm just going to say this is the top part of the flower here. And then I'm going to create some petals. And what you want with the flower is you don't want it to be like perfect looking. So I intentionally kind of make my petals a little wonky looking to make it look more natural. But for the kawaii style, you always want to make your lines clean as possible. But for a whimsical look, to me, a whimsical look will have more textures. That's why I like to add a little bit of colored pencils in there just to add a little bit of character to my drawings. So I'm just adding some irregular dots in the middle part, just like that. And you can add line, and the line will show your audience or whoever's looking at it where the petals are going. So if the petals kind of like make it a little slanted because your petals are a little slanted, so your line in the middle make it a little bit slanted. Here we go. Oops. Trying to move my mic, the camera is moving at the same time. And then now I'm going to do the stem of the flower just like this, right? And then I'll repeat the same process. I'll draw another flower here. And then I'll draw the petals. It looks like big umbrellas too. That's kind of like protecting baby bear here. Here. And then regular dots. And then this time, I'll make it like this. Right? And then we can make one slightly larger. I'm going to make this one here. So I started with this curve line, closed it in. Then now we'll add some petals. Like that. That. All right. Then you can add some leaves. So here, and the other one, let's pretend that the leaves coming from here. So we'll just do the tip of the leaves down. Same thing here. All right. Then we can add some kind of like eucalyptus looking leaves. So just a slanted line, and then now I'm adding kind of like two smaller and have like spaces in between. Then I'll have one here too. I started on top, and then I make sure I put in space in between. All right, I think that's good. I'm happy with this. Maybe one more here. Last one. All right, and then this one has to stick out here. There. And then I'll add some cute grasses. Look at my grass. They're like really, really chubby. Then I know this is my ground. Then there. It's so cute. All right. For our title, I am going to move my notebook like this, and I'll put in May. Now, brush lettering is something that's a little tricky, but it's doable. I mean, it might take you months, years, maybe hopefully not too long with a lot of practice, but it really is doable as long as you stick to your natural, the way you would write your letters. I think that's how the first tip I would say. If you are used to writing your letter M this way, then start writing your letter M's this way. You know, it doesn't matter if other people are writing it this way. Then I think that's where the confusion and that's where the overwhelming um, feeling of I can't do this comes in. So try to use your natural handwriting as much as possible. So if there's like little kids that are joining us today, you know, you might want to learn how to do some script lettering because it is beautiful. Um, My daughter is 11. It's actually her birthday month this month. So she's trying to learn some brush lettering too. She's turning 12 and she's like, I can't do this, Mom. I don't know how you do this. But I promise you, it's not that hard. Okay, so for the May, as you can see here, my letter Y, I'm going to use this as a stem of one of my flowers. So I'm just going to stretch that out and then add my little dome in there again, and then start adding my petals like this. Okay. And then I'll add one more over here, just a small one. And then we'll add some leaves. That. All right, I think that's good. I know we can do this one later here, later. But let's do the line work first before we run out of time, because I want to show you guys how to do the line work. Now, like what I said, I love the kneadable eraser because I don't make a whole lot of mess. As long as you don't follow what I did earlier, make sure to hold your paper so you don't crinkle your paper in accident. I tend to do that, or just go over it like this. What am I doing? Ah, they're going away. Okay, so for the Pitt Artist pens, they have, like what I said, for their black Pitt Artists, they have different tips. So they have a 1.5 bullet tip, they have a fine, they have a medium, they have a super fine, an extra super fine. They also have a brush tip, and then something is coming very, very soon, which is like an answered prayer from the pen gods. This is the, I'm going to show you because you guys are special. So I'm going to show you today. These are the Faber-Castell Fudenoske tips. So these are brand new. It's not out yet, but I'm feeling a little special today because I get to use it. And I don't think I can use any other pens now that they have the Fudenoske tips. Okay. So these are my favorite. You might have a different pen there with you. You might have a brush tip or a fine tip or a bullet tip, whichever one you'd like to use for your line work, that would work. But for me, I think I'm going to go use the Fudenoske hard so you guys can also see what it looks like. This is the way the Fudenoske tip works is kind of like a brush pen, but you get a much better control than the brush because the brush can be a little extra tricky. This one is more controlled, but you'll still be able to get like a thin and thick stroke just by the amount of pressure that you use when you're applying and you're using your markers. So it's really fun. Now I think I erased too much and I cannot see where the lines are anymore. Oh man. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. I'll start with a bow. You might have a different format, how you'd like to do your line work. I really don't. I mean, I just kind of go over where my lines were, if I can find it. I'm pretty sure I erased too much. It's okay. We're going to figure this out. So just go over your sketch and do your line art. Now, remember that when you're doing your line art, it might be a much better idea to start with the top than the bottom, because if you're going to start lining this one and you'll work your way to go to the top, then you might end up smudging whatever it is that's here at the bottom. So I think it's always a better idea to do your line work on the top first. So the way I like to do my drawings is that I love that variation of stroke. I love that thin and thick line. And that's why I love the brush pens and I love the Fudenoske, because by just applying a little bit of pressure, it gives me a much thicker stroke. And if the thickness is not enough, I know that I can always come back and just add a little bit more width to my strokes like this. And I think I'm going to add a little bit of like this thing in the bear. And I'm going to thicken her lashes because it's Mother's Day and she's feeling a little extra. So she has some extra lashes in there. Okay, here we go. I'll draw the ear of this bear, ear, the middle part. I'm going to have to adjust my notebook again because it's much easier to work like this. Hi, cute baby bear. I know. I love my mama too. So she's just laying down here and really loving the attention she's getting from Mama Bear. Okay. This one. The arms of Mama. This is actually going to be a perfect kind of like card for your mom. That body. This. Now I'm going to show you the difference if I'm going to use a brush pen. So I think for the flowers, I'm going to use a brush. See, the brush will have a little much more thicker stroke to it, especially if I'm applying more pressure, then I'll get a much thicker stroke. Okay, close that in. And then if you have like some fine lines or much smaller lines that you want a cleaner look, then you can change your tips. This one I'm using a Superfine, just so I know, because I can really get a very fine tip on this one, like that. I'll do this, use the same tip here, this, that. And if you were creating along with us today, would love to see what you created. Make sure to show some love to Faber-Castell USA. Here you go. You can follow us on social media. All the information is there. And also make sure to show some love to Michael's as well. You can use the hashtag Make It With Michael so that I'll be able to see all your creations. I'd love to see them. Go. Adding it. Now, if you're going to use the black Pitt Artist pens and you decide to color it in with some colored pencil, it's going to depend on what type of paper you're using. It is archival and it also waterproof, but it depends on the paper that you're using. You might want to give it a little bit of drying time just so you're 100% sure that you're not going to smudge anything. So just give it a little bit of drying time before you start using any type of coloring medium to color in your drawing. So I'm just going to give it just a little bit of drying time there. I'm going to start lettering my May. Okay, and while I have you here also, would like to remind you we have 3 more classes for this month of May. And so next week, we're going to be painting some yummy donuts. And so that's happening next week. Same day, Wednesday at 5 o'clock, same time. And also, um, creativity for kids. Make sure to check out all our upcoming classes for that one. All the information is on the screen. Miss Meredith is so fun because she gets to play with a lot of the creativity for kids kit. And look what I did. I did not scoop this one, so I won't be able to use it for my flower. Of course I didn't. All right, here we go. I can play around with it because I can. There. So I will show you that you can actually use this one, like when you're trying to line your work. And for example, you know what? I made my sketch too perfect. I didn't like the shape of the petals because everything was kind of looking too perfect. So this is the time to do your adjustments. So you might want to make it a little bit more wonky, or if your sketch was wonky and you want to make it perfect, do the opposite, right? So here we go. I'm going to show you that the reason why I love this Fudenosuke is because I was able to create the thin and thick, but I'm also able to really go and create some very thin strokes. Look at this. And then create a little bit of a thicker stroke. I really love using the Fudenosuke tip, and I can't wait until you guys can try it. So I covered up one of the flower there. I decided I don't like it anymore because that's how it is. Sometimes you change your mind. And that's why having that sketch over there, it's like it's your first basic idea. Don't get stuck with just one idea. For example, you did two flowers in there, and then you end up saying, you know what, I don't really like having the two flowers there in there. I'm just going to leave it like that. You don't have to. So don't get stuck with an idea of just because he sketched it, that means that's the one that you're going to have to do. All right, so for a bear, let's color it in real quick before I say goodbye. So I'm just going over it with my eraser. Just going to erase some things in here. This. Right. So I am going to use some light green. I'm going to start with the leaves just so we can get them over and done with. Make sure I am getting all of these. All right, and then I'm going to use the darker green for these other leaves. Now it depends on the paper that you're using. Everything, how can I say this? It's not created equal. I hope that makes sense, you know? So sometimes the markers would work, not sometimes, most of the time, they work very differently. It depends on the paper that you're using. Some papers will absorb the ink so quickly, some will not, you know? So it just really depends. That's why I'm such a paper snub because I like it when my paper has a little bit of coating. And I like it when it's a little smoother because it means that I am not hurting the nibs or the tips of my brush because, you know, you spend money and if it's going to get ruined so fast, it's kind of like it's very disappointing, you know, when that happens. All right, so I'm going to start with this light yellow glaze color in the middle part. As you can see, I'm just not overthinking it. And then I'm going to use, let's see, I'm going to use the light green and then I'll go over that to create a little bit of shadow in here. See, I'm just coloring this bottom part. Then I'll go over with my light and just blend it. Now, the paper or the notebook that you're using may not allow you to do this because maybe it's like really absorbing the inks right away as soon as you apply them. So you may not have enough time to kind of do your blending. That's why next time choose a much better notebook, they're premium quality. So those will um, really make a big difference. Now for the flowers, you can choose to color it pink or like here, what I have here is a very light blue. This is called the light indigo. And I'm just going over the petals and then going over the sides, the border, creating a border around it. And this gives us this visual interest that these flowers, the petals, they're white. You know, the blue tells that tells the viewers, tells your eyes that these are actually white. If you're going to create a border around it with a blue one. So you can also do this for some animals that are like white. If you're drawing a bunny and you like to, you know, you cannot color it in white because they're already white. So you might want to do this, just kind of like go over the border and close it in and create this visual interest, no, visual look that tells your eyes that those petals are white. Go over my light glaze, just like that. And then same here, go over that. There. And then I'm going to color in my leaves here. This one too. And I'm doing the opposite here. I'm coloring the bigger leaves, the lighter color green, and I'm going to color these tiny ones a darker shade of green. And there we go. And then I want to create a banner over here for my notes. So I'm just going to draw a flag like this. So like a really wavy line. And I'll copy it, repeat that same, and close this in like that. And then I'll use the same color to color in my bear. And I'll add a line work there later. This time I'm going to color in bear. I'm going to leave that tiny space there because I'm going to color that in with a pink. So this time what I'm doing is I'm doing really short strokes. Notice I'm going like tiny small places like that. And I know it will not smudge my line art, but just in case that it's not thoroughly dry, I'm just trying to avoid to smudge the part where there's the black outline, just like this. And I'm going to leave that heart also. Color it in with pink one. Like this. And the nose as well. This little heart right here. And then I'm going to draw a blush. Like that. And then I'm going to make Baby Bear. Let me see. If you have a different shade of brown, you can use that so you can really tell the difference between Mama Bear and Baby Bear. So I'm using a medium skin color. Go. And I'm going to show you real quick how you can add a little bit of shadows and texture using a colored pencil. Now you don't have to use like super duper extra colored pencils. I'm just going to use the gold Faber colored pencils. I just want to show you real quick what it's going to look like if you add texture to this. Right? So I'm going to use, this one is 132. Might be a little too, yeah, that's too light. So I'm going to use this brown one, 187. And I'm doing this in short strokes. Look. This one will make it look so whimsical because you're adding texture to your bear that looks like fur. So short strokes like that. Like this. Yes, this is the gold Faber. So the gold Faber will have the gold Faber Aqua, which is a watercolor pencils. This one is just the regular colored pencils. You know, my style of artwork definitely changed through the years, and I think it's very important to do that as you grow into your own um, ability. You kind of just try different things. I used to like very clean looking of coloring. That's why I used to love coloring with some alcohol markers because they're more clean and just soft and almost not there. But now I like adding textures to my artwork. So that's why I have been loving adding colored pencils, whether I created my first layer with some watercolor, because that works as well. I love doing that. Color it with watercolor first and then add some pencil textures on top. It just creates this very whimsical look to my drawings when I'm doing that. Definitely adds that character, you know? So, but there we have it. Oh my goodness. It's all done. Oh, it's so cute. And then you can just keep adding some pink to it if you'd like. You know, you can color in the petals. It's your choice to make it like pink. You can just add your days of the week, you know, Mondays, or just the letter M, letter T, W, T in here, and then F, an S, Sunday. That's how it is. And I'm going to add notes over here. But that's our layout. Oh my goodness. Hi, Robin. No, thank you. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you for joining us today. Again, if you created something with us, don't forget to use the hashtag Make It With Michaels and also Faber-Castell USA. I hope that this was fun. I hope that this was helpful. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Ella. Thank you, everyone. So, I just want to answer your question. Is that line very pigmented? I'm considering the Albert Dürer. Well, the difference between the Albert Dürer would be there's a green line and then there's a blue line of Faber-Castell, right? The green line would be the artist line, which is more expensive, but they are, of course, a better quality. Everything would be a light, fast quality. And then the gold Faber would be more for the hobbyist, more for the students and all that, but still is a really great quality as well. So, yeah, I hope that I answered that question. Thank you, Veronica. Thank you guys so much. How fun. I hope that I was able to teach you, entertain you. Thank you for accompanying me today. We hope to see you again next week for our next class. That will be creating some yummy donuts like this, of course. Thank you, everybody. In behalf of Faber-Castell USA and Michael Stores, my name is Slay Ralston. Thank you, everyone. Until next time. Bye.